All right, number 17. Now this one's a little tricky. A deck has a length that is 2 feet greater than its width. A new deck is built with the width and length increased by 5. So it's this problem we're talking about: an original deck, which is going to go here, and then this new deck, which is going to go over here. So, the deck's a rectangle, and you may decide, hey, I'm going to call this the width and this the length. Great, I did it. But if you read these directions carefully, they say draw a sketch of the original deck showing the dimensions in terms of the width W, which means they're saying, hey, you can only use one variable. You can't use W and L. So, gotta get rid of that L and figure out what am I going to put here. Go back and read this. It says a new deck has a length that is 2 feet greater. So I ask myself, how do I increase something by 2 or make something 2 feet bigger than what I started with? Well, I take the width, and to increase it by 2, I just add 2. So there's my original deck. Now they say sketch the new deck after a 5-foot increase. So this isn't W anymore. This W now has increased by 5. Okay? And this down here, it was W plus 2, and then I'm going to add 5 more to that. So W plus the 2 plus 5 more gets me to 7. So I've drawn the new deck, but you may be thinking, okay, wait a minute, but how am I supposed to write an equation for this thing? So here's how you write an equation for this thing. It's W plus 5 and W plus 7. And by now you should think, oh man, yeah, this looks super familiar to me. So you could just write the equation as W plus 5 and W plus 7, and that equals the new area. That's in factor form. Or you could say, all right, I'm going to write this in the expanded form. So this would be W times W, which is W squared, W times 5, which is 5W, and W times 7, which is 7W, and 7 times 5, which is 35. I can combine these like terms, and I would get W squared plus 12W plus 35 equals N. Now on this practice test, all I said is write an equation. And both of these equations are correct. They are equivalent and they mean the same thing. On the real test, they may give you they will give you a multiple choice. So you'd have to understand both of these, because I don't know if they're going to give it to you in the factor form or the expanded form. You'd have to know how to do both. Anyways, that's number 17.